All right, good day, folks. Everything new under the sun. The soon return of the Messiah. Jewish rabbis believe that the fall of the Assad regime is, in fact, prophetic. And this is an interesting article from Israel365news.com. The image you see there is Bashar Assad as a cartoon of Nero while Damascus burns. This article says, on Sunday it was reported that Bashar al-Assad fled Syria as rebel forces swiftly took over Damascus. So this is kind of the news of the last week or so, where the rebels quickly took it over. Israel took more land, by the way. Every time a country attacks Israel, they take more land. But there's some supposed prophecy here as well. Bible believers understand that the fall of Syria has dire prophetic implications, and that's true. It says, Shemen Tubal, the deputy mayor of Beersheba, appeared on Channel 14 News. Tubal, a religious Jew who serves in the Gavati Brigade of the IDF, described the connection between Messiah and the fall of Assad, it says. He cited a story in the Otsar Hashmidrashim, a collection of Midrashic literature, that told how Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, a founder of Jewish mysticism, also known by the acronym Rashbi, described an encounter with an angel while he was in a cave. Now, the image is, again, going to make sense in a second here. This will be for you a sign, the angel told Rashbi. This is what apparently occurred here. When you see that the Nero of the East in Damascus has fallen, then the kingdom of the East will have fallen, and the redemption of Israel will flourish, and the Messiah from the house of David will return. So this is another prophecy by these rabbis, by these Jewish mysticism folks who believe that events that are occurring today point to the coming of the Messiah. And there's been a few of them over the last several years. I've looked at them. I'm not saying they're 100% accurate. They're not biblical. They're absolutely extra biblical. But do angels and the Holy Spirit, do they speak to different people in different ways and try and warn them and try and lead them to Jesus? I think they do. But this is interesting, though, and this is why this image comes up, because who is the Nero of the East? Well, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said this 2,000 years ago. Maybe this is the time of the redemption, Tubal says. To further emphasize Assad's connection to the Nero of the East, which is the predicted figure that will bring Mashiach ben David, the Messiah, his name in gematria equals the Nero of the East. So Assad's name in gematria equals Nero of the East. So that's a very, very interesting thing. Gematria is a big thing in Jewish history, mysticism, and really their prophecy. Indeed, a political cartoon, and this is where the cartoon comes in, political cartoon that was widely circulated in the Arab media in 2012 portrayed portrayed Assad as Nero fiddling while Syria burned. So again, this is Assad, Bashar Assad, fiddling while Damascus burned, while Syria burned. The rule of the original Nero, an emperor of ancient Rome, is associated with tyranny, extravagance, cruelty, and madness. And I think that absolutely parallels Bashar Assad's 50-year reign in Syria. You look at some of the stuff on X and the atrocities that he did against his own people. He very much was kind of a modern-day Nero. This parallel, the article says, was also known by Rabbi Yakutiel Fish, known in Israel as the author of the Torah blog Sod HaShema. Jeremiah predicted a fire in the fortress of Damascus that will presage Messiah, Rabbi Fish told Israel 365 News. I will set fire to the wall of Damascus. I shall consume the fortress of Ben-Hadad, Jeremiah 48:27. Ben-Hadad in Gematria equals 65, the same as Assad. Rabbi Fish said, the recent upheaval in Syria conforms to the prophet's description. So, very interesting stuff. It says, Rabbi Yosef Berger sees Syria's conflict as a more divine than mundane. It is clearly divine intervention that has supported Syria, while all the other countries around them fell, Rabbi Berger says. This was only so that all 70 nations of the world would gather in Syria as they are now doing. Why is that interesting? Because the Bible speaks about all nations gathering together against Israel in the last days and being against Israel, and also the group of nations that comes against Israel in Ezekiel 38. So it makes sense that the leadership of Syria and the sovereignty of Syria would disintegrate. And he's rightly pointing out that fact that all nations then would be coming to Syria on Israel's northern border for maybe the Battle of Armageddon. The Bible speaks about, again, all the nations of the world coming to battle. It says, 70 nations of the world will gather in Syria as they are doing now, gathering for that great day, that great battle. But each nation has a ministering angel. The real battle is being waged in heaven between them, Rabbi Berger said. We don't battle, with flesh and blood. We battle spirits and angels and devils in the spiritual realm, in the supernatural realm. And that's me adding that commentary. There's a spiritual, supernatural realm all around us all the time, and that's why you need to have the Holy Spirit to navigate and to protect you in the spiritual realm, which you're in all the time, every day. We do not see this battle, but we see the results, he says. As the angel of Syria falls, all the other ministering angels of Esau and Ishmael will also fall. Rabbi Asher explained in his commentary, let me just get rid of that again. You can see Rabbi Asher explained in his commentary this verse relating to, well, let's read the verse, Genesis 25:18. These were the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. Then he breathed his last and died and was gathered to his kin. Rabbi Ash explained this verse relating to the death of Ishmael is adjacent to the verse describing Isaac's life. Ishmael being the Arabs, Isaac being, of course, the Jewish nation. In order to teach that when Ishmael falls, the Arab nations, it will be the end of days, and the son of David, the Messiah, who is from the descendants of Isaac, will flourish. All of the countries in the world, it is very strange that Israel, of all the countries in the world, it's very strange that Israel seems to be the least involved in what's going on in Syria. Now, there's speculation there. Did Mossad and the CIA, were they part of the overthrow of the Assad regime? That's certainly the speculation. Who knows? Would they have interest in Assad being removed? Well, I suggest to you that they have more interest in Assad staying in power, honestly, because he was a known figure. He was a known dictator. He controlled, in large part, the population of Syria, so that they weren't bothering Israel too much. So it would be to Israel's advantage in many cases for there to be a strong leader in Syria. So I don't know that I buy that, but maybe there's other reasons geopolitically that that could be the case. So it says, of all the countries, it's very strange Israel seems to be the least involved in what's going on in Syria. But it will become clear that the fall of Syria will mark a turning point in the Gula, or the redemption. So another sign, another prophetic indication, at least these Jews believe that to be the case, that the Messiah, the return of Messiah, is near. Now, who is the Messiah for the Jews? Well, initially they believe that the Messiah, they believe in the Antichrist as the Messiah, because he's going to come, he's going to create peace and security, and he's going to let them rebuild their third temple. Now, so the Messiah they may be talking about is indeed the false Messiah, the Antichrist. That's something to watch out for. When they start saying, could this guy be the Messiah? Look out, because that could be the very person that's actually the Antichrist, the anti-Messiah. And that's what you and I, as believers in Jesus Christ Christians, that's what we need to watch out for. These prophecies may be inspired by an evil force, indeed, to point them in the direction of the Antichrist and to point to the Antichrist, so that when the Antichrist comes, they can say, look, our prophecies are fulfilled. The Messiah is here. He let us rebuild our third temple. But indeed, if those of the book, the people of the book, will recognize that, nope, that's misinformation, if you want to use a term from today, misdirection. Indeed, that is the Antichrist, and you need Jesus Christ, and that's what the Jews, of course, don't understand. So prophecy is being fulfilled. You have to kind of read between the lines, understand what they see as prophecy, how that relates to end-time Bible prophecy, and interesting as the fall of Syria is high on the prophetic significance scale. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down there. I know a lot of people complain about the thinking about reading the Jewish mysticists and their prophecies and predictions. But I think there are interesting things there because, again, the devil has some indication of what his timeline is, and so he may be trying to push a narrative on the Jews as well to have them continue to believe that when he does possess a particular man, that they trust in him as the Antichrist, right? So the devil is probably going to push through devils and demons and visions and prophecies, an incorrect or invalid or opposite narrative as well. So you got to think about both sides of the picture, which one lines up with Bible prophecy, which is kind of the opposite of Bible prophecy, and could it be leading to the Antichrist? That's what you need to be thinking about. So thanks for watching. Stay close to Jesus Christ in these last days. Times are getting hard. Money's getting thin, and the economy is on the edge. I think the economic collapse is part and parcel of what ends up being effectively World War III before the Antichrist comes into power. And with Trump taking office, the world is going to do everything it can to keep the status quo and to get all the conservative leadership out of government. They do not like them because the conservative leadership upsets all the money. It's like tipping over all the tables in the temple. They don't like that. They like the status quo. They like to be making a lot of money. So be prepared. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.